here, Director of Golf at Kenny Perry's Country Creek Golf Course, and I want to welcome you to our new YouTube show, Country Creek Conversations. And please welcome today's guest, up-and-coming pro golfer, Mr. Zach Kean. Welcome, Zach. Thanks for being on. We're going to tell you a little bit about Zach's background. He's got a long connection with Kenny Perry's Country Creek. As a high school golfer, he played for the East Robertson High School golf team, who practices and competes here at Country Creek. And he later became an employee here, washed golf carts, picked the driving range, worked behind the counter, and even worked on our grounds crew. Is that all correct?
That's it.
He's done it all here at Country Creek. Went on to play college golf at Cumberland University.
Correct.
And has graduated and is now pursuing a career as a pro golfer. And we're going to learn all about that here in a bit. So today's episode is the grind of chasing a career as a professional golfer. So welcome, Zach, again. Thanks so much for being here. You know, let's start a little bit more about your connection here with Country Creek. So you, as a high school golfer, right? That was the first time you came out here?
It was. So I actually started playing, and first time I ever played golf was actually out here at Country Creek, and I loved it and decided to actually play high school golf. And from then on, I was hooked, and I was out here every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And had some success as a high school golfer?
Did. Played really well. After my sophomore year of high school, my junior and senior years, I always played well. Really played good in the district tournaments and stuff like that. Awesome. And I credit a lot of that to Country Creek.
That's great.
Able to come out here. So
you went on to play for Cumberland University in Tennessee, right? Tell us about your time at Cumberland University.
So I had 4 years there. We actually competed and won the conference championship my senior year. So we have conference rings. We were able to make it to nationals that year, which was actually at TPC John Deere, where they host the John Deere Classic. So,
I was playing that course.
Oh, it was awesome. That course is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And so you since graduated. You worked out here for several years. Now you are pursuing the career as a pro golfer. You know, you use Country Creek as your practice facility. Tell us about using Country Creek, and how does our driving range, putting green, our 18-hole par 72 course help you practice and prepare?
Well, it's really good, honestly. You know, you come out here, everyone makes you feel at home. The driving range is great. Obviously, it's plenty big. There's tons of people that use it. The putting green is always in good shape. You know, Josh does a great job of that. Plenty of green to chip and do stuff around whatever you need. And then the course has obviously been in good shape these past few years. And, you know, it presents as good amount of challenges, and it's good, you know, fair holes. You know, 2 is drivable, but, you know, you kind of think about it, and you got some par 5s that you hit long irons in, so it's fun. Yeah.
Now, if anybody's been out here recently, they see Kenny out here practicing for his own career, you know, and they see you two playing together a lot. You've had the privilege to really get to know Kenny. Kenny's taking you under his wing, and it's really helped you out. I mean, how has being able to practice alongside Kenny Perry helped you with your game?
Oh man, that's been something that I can't even put into words. It's been fantastic. You know, just going out and watching him play. You know, he's a machine when it comes to the driver. You know, I think we've been playing together for 9 years now, and he probably hasn't missed 15 fairways in 9 years out here. You know, it's just incredible the shots he's able to play and the confidence he plays with.
He knows the course well.
Oh yeah. That's for sure.
Have you ever beaten Kenny in a round of golf out here?
Yes. So that's recently in October last year.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever beat him, and he gave me one heck of a fight.
Yeah.
You know, I had a 1-shot lead going into 18.
Yeah.
And I was able to knock one close and birdie it to hold him off. But I've done it a couple times since then, but that was the first and definitely the most special.
And was there a witness?
Yes, we actually had a little crowd out there, good, so it was a ton of fun, and probably one of the most nervous times I've had in my golf career so far. So it was a ton of fun.
I'm sure Kenny has given you tons of advice practicing together out here. Is anything specific that you could consider the best advice Kenny's ever given you?
Probably one of the first times I met him, you know, when we came out, we saw him on the putting green, and he's a very approachable guy. And, you know, we walked up and we were talking to him, and he said, you know, I treat this as a job. He said, you go out, you're nervous on the first tee, but you have to understand this is what you want to do. You know, you have to treat it as a job, and you're here to play good golf.
Do you have a favorite story or anything that's happened in all your rounds with Kenny out here? Anything funny you could tell us?
I tell everyone that when I first started playing with him, I was obviously well behind him in driving distance. Well, over the years, I got to where I started knocking it past him on a regular basis. So then every time we play, if when I drive one past him, he would always, it seemed like he'd always knock it to 2 foot. And then, you know, his big belly laugh, he'd just turn to you and he'd say, well, that was a good drive, young man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you recently spent some time down in Vero Beach, Florida. Why don't you tell all of our viewers about how that came about and what it is you did down there, and just fill us in on that.
So I was actually working one day, and Kenny comes up and we were talking about kind of the career, what I was going to do, and of course I wanted to pursue this game, and he said, what are your plans? And I told him, you know, originally I was going to try and be a caddy at Augusta National and, you know, just play tournaments and work my way up best I could. And he actually told me about Vero Beach, which Bent Pine Golf Club was the place that he got his start. He went down, he played the mini tours, and so he got me in touch with their director of golf, Pat Gorman, and I spoke to him, and about 2.5 weeks later, I was headed down to Vero to play golf professionally, and I stayed for 2 years down there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now you're back, you're here practicing, playing in some events and things like that. You have a sponsorship now. Callaway's picked you up, is that correct?
That's it.
How is that? Tell us about the Callaway sponsorship.
It's fantastic. You know, they were actually out at Bent Pine, and I was fortunate enough that they picked me up on their staff, and they've been a wonderful company. They've treated me great, and anything that I've needed, you know, their reps have taken care of. So it's been fantastic.
So what's in the bag specifically?
So I have their new Flash driver and 3-wood. I love them. I have their utility 2-iron, and also have a combo set of, I have their muscle backs and 5-through pitching wedge, and then I have their a little bit, I guess, thicker irons, and they're 3 and 4. And so they're fantastic clubs. They feel great, and they're beautiful looking.
So you're very happy with these clubs.
I am. I'm very happy with them.
Awesome. So what's next on your calendar? Do you have any qualifiers coming up? Any tournaments you're playing in? What's next?
So I'm off for a couple weeks, but I actually have some more PGA and web events coming up. There's a couple in North and South Carolina.
Okay.
And then there's one actually in Kentucky for the Barbasol I'm gonna try and get into. So that's here in about 3-4 weeks. So it's coming up.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of our viewers would like to know, I mean, what are the steps of getting on the PGA Tour? Many years ago, there was the Q School.
Right.
If you could get through Q School, you would earn your card, and then you're on the PGA Tour. And then while on the tour, you could earn an extended stay off of your play and winnings and stuff. That has changed, correct? It's different now. Tell us what's the process nowadays?
So there's actually a couple different ways you can go through. There's Tour Canada, Latin Tour, and China Tour, which actually gets you to the web. And then once you're on the web, you have to be in the top 25 money list to get your PGA Tour card. And that's one route that most people take. You can also try Monday qualify for web events, and if you're in the top 25, you get exempted the next week, and you can try and earn your money that way.
Okay.
And then the third option, obviously probably the hardest, was the one Jordan Spieth took, where he was able to get a sponsor's exemption in PGA, or you Monday qualify for PGA, and you go out and you win the event, you automatically get your tour card. So it's tough.
It's tough. It is tough. And that's my next question: is chasing a career as a professional golfer is a very difficult grind, day in and day out. What's the most difficult part about this dream you're chasing?
I would probably say staying positive when you're not playing great. You know, you have to keep grinding it out when you're out there. You know, I actually just got through the qualifier, missed by 1 shot, and it's like, you know, you hate to sign the scorecard and know you missed it by 1. So I'd say that's the hardest part, but you're also, you know, okay, I'm close to making it in these events.
Is there a certain aspect of your game currently that you're working on, trying to improve? Does your game currently have a strength or a weakness?
My strength right now is my ball striking. I'm actually working with Coach Joe Howlett. He's out at the Legends course that Vanderbilt practices out of, and we're working on my putting. You know, when you play this, you know, Kenny will tell you the biggest thing is everyone hits it well, but not everyone can putt it well for you. So that's what you have to work on.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap this up with one more question. You know, here we are at Kenny Perry's Country Creek Golf Course in Franklin, Kentucky, and you've spent a lot of time here, many years. Do you have a favorite memory, a favorite story when somebody says Country Creek? What's the first thing that pops into your mind?
My favorite story from Country Creek is one morning when we were here setting up for a tournament, and Tim was taking the range picker up to the range. And supposedly the sunlight hit the windshield and he squared one of the big trees we have out here, and the balls went everywhere. Yes.
A legend. So you were here for that.
Yeah,
I've heard
was
about
fantastic.
it. I have heard about that mishap,
Yes.
the famous Tim. So as you come into our pro shop and Tim's working, ask him about that day. Ask him about that day. So I'm here with Zach Kean, an up-and-coming professional golfer, spends his time here at Country Creek practicing, chasing the dream of being a pro golfer. Kenny Perry is taking him under his wing and helping him out, and we've always enjoyed our time with Zach when he was a high school player out here as an employee, and now a good friend of all of ours. And we wish you the best of luck, and one day when you're on the PGA Tour making millions, you remember us here at Kenny Perry's Country Creek, and we've got that on film. So thanks again, Zach. Wish you the best of luck. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Country Creek Conversations, and be sure to like this video on YouTube, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks everyone. We'll see you soon here at the Creek.